All right, guys, welcome back. We have the patch 6.5.5 update notice. So I did not really expect this to drop kind of randomly. I thought we'd get, a little preview of the skills and then they give us a few days to think about it, but they just did it all at once. So pretty nice start to the week for everybody. So let's take a look. New dimension, Sacrion. Okay, I like the concept of using monsters' different attributes. I think the saddest part of Sacrion is the rewards here. Focus, Despair, Revenge, Blade, Fight is not as good as Alunia, so I will never farm this. It's sad that it's brand new content that I will never farm, because the way things are set up with the way grind stack and gem stack, devoting yourself to another set is not worth your time. It's just too hard to manage and store, and you get some grinds that you don't want to clear out, but you don't have runes for them, but you got to hold on to them. So, I like Despair. I don't want Focus. I don't want Blade. I don't want Fight, and I don't really want Revenge. So, yeah. It's just unfortunate that brand new content that is neat is never going to be used. I don't know if they want to do something about that, but whoever designed Alunia, gave us all the things in one big swoop. So, too bad, so sad. All right, let's take a look at the monsters, the Vagabonds first. I kind of look at stuff from an RTA perspective, but some of these, might obviously lend more to PvE, so we'll just kind of go over them and see how it looks. Biggest problem with Vagabonds is the base speed is trash. I think the Jubel, the dark guy, has the good base speed, so he might have some relevance based on his speed. Let's take a look. So fire, all of them are basically the same, right, on their first skill. Decrease the defense for 2 turns, damage by max HP. Yeah, it looks like they're all the same except for blue guy. So that's a really nice first skill. Max HP is not an RTA type of thing, because the HP goes down as the timer ticks, but decreasing defense on 1 is always really nice. The 2 on the red one is attacks 2 times, decrease the attack power for 2 turns, and recovers your HP by 20% of damage dealt. Damage by max HP. So, attack down on 2 is not too great, so I'm not thrilled for that one. On 3, provokes all enemies for 1 turn, increases your defense for 3 turns, and gains immunity for 3 turns. The provoke is not really super relevant. 1 turn is you can proc out of that. And there's no penalty for attacking him other than losing your turn when provoked. There's some provoking monsters where you attack them and better things happen for you. So it's nice to have yourself provoked, like the dark provokey bison guy. But 3 turns immunity, 3 turns defense on a fire monster. It's not bad for a single unit. I don't know where he would find his role, but he's really tanky while doing it. So that's something. I don't see it as any way relevant for RTA. It doesn't bring anything to the table. That's the problem with RTA is we already have a lot of fire monsters. What does this do that those don't? What niche does it fill? And in my mind, no niche. All right, blue guy. The additional thing is he'll provoke on his 1 with a 20% chance. I don't think adding that to all of them would be game breaking. Defense break plus a provoke. But 20% chance is not enough to matter. It's just a thing that's good that's added, right? The next one is a 1 turn provoke. That's his skill 2. So that's really bad. Is that for real? That's so bad. Okay, no healing yourself, no nothing. Just 1 turn single target provoke on a skill 2. Okay. His 3 is a passive. When your HP is 30% or lower, or you are attacked by a provoked target, the damage you receive is reduced by 50%. So that at least combos with the provoke, right? Damage received less by 50%. So what are you going to be attacking with this guy? Wind monsters, right? Because you're not going to land it on fire, right? No, that's the other way around. You're going to land it on fire. You're not going to land it on wind. So you're provoking fire monsters. You're taking less damage from fire monsters. Skill 1. What fire monster is so scary on its skill 1? Maybe Carcano? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe. But otherwise, I would say probably not very good. Even in PvE, I can't really see it. All right, Wind One. This is the guy we learned his skills in advance. So he only has 1 skill, and it's skill 1. Decrease the defense, more damage by max HP. He's got 2 passives that activate in differing situations. So attacks the target 2 more times. So that's a 3 attack here with this skill 2. Decrease attack power for 2 turns with a 70% chance if you attack with decreased defense on your turn. So if he's already decreased defense, you're going to decrease their attack power as well. Damage based on max HP. Okay? And then the 3 attacks the target 1 more time to decrease attack power to 0 and irresistible provoke if the enemy does not have decreased defense. So this attacks a total of twice with the 1 and the 2, right? And this attacks 3 times with the 2 and the 1. So additional damage stuff, pretty good. The irresistible provoke is kind of nice. The decreased attack bar to 0 is also kind of nice. So you build them with accuracy. I don't know. The fact that it's attacking additionally with extra effects, I think is pretty cool. But, you know, is it enough control? You know? I don't know. Because, I don't know. It doesn't scream, oh yeah, I want that. Like, think about all the wind monsters out there. There's a lot, and they're all really good. Like, think about, like, even Sagar, who I think is considered to be not very good, I think has more utility than this. And he's not really getting played, so I'm not really seeing it. All right, let's look at Darian. This guy, I think, is going to be 2A'd by a lot of people because we already have him, right? He's probably already 6'd. He's already frontline in R5 or whatever. I kind of think that's all he does, but we already have him, right? So a lot of people are going to build this guy. What do we got going on? Same skill 1. The 2 is decreased attack power for 2 turns, 70% chance to absorb attack bar by 10% with 70% chance. So 10% is not a lot. But I guess you attack twice. So a 20% absorb on his skill 2 with a attack down. That's just better R5, right? In R5, you're trying to control the monsters, the head's attack bar as much as possible. That's just a little bit better. Cool. In R5, you don't need a lot of accuracy. The skill 3 increases the damage other allies receive by 30%. I believe it used to be 20%. So that's really nice. 10% down on everybody. You got to really double check, though, because in R5 solo, you want some of your stuff to die. And if you 2A him and your stuff doesn't die the way it's supposed to, then it screws it up. So, I don't know. It makes it easier to build certain monsters because they're going to take less damage. But the boss does Oblivion, so don't bank on this. The increase the damage you receive by 15%, I don't see why that was added. That doesn't seem to make any sense to me, but I don't know. Is he so powerful that you have to have a negative? No. Where are you going to use this guy? Maybe R5, right? So I don't know. He gets a big buff on his stats just by 2Aing, so I feel like the 15% he receives is negated. They just wanted him to not be a massive super tank, which is fine, I guess. But again, I don't know. We've gotten spoiled by 2As where they're like, holy cow, that's so good, and it jumps into the meta, and none of these are really doing that yet. So I guess we'll just kind of see. All right, here's the dark one. I believe has the good base speed, like the 110-ish range. We've already seen the 1. The 2 is 1 turn provoke. Increases the provoke effect by 1 turn up to 3 if you attack the provoked enemy. So massive revenge, right? Because they only provoke for 1 turn. So if you cycle faster than what you provoked, you can increase it. Otherwise, I guess it's got to be revenge, right? Because if you and the provoked target are the same speed, he's going to lose his provoke by attacking you, and then you won't be able to actually increase the provoke. And then here's the 3. This is kind of where it actually works out. Decreases the chance of receiving a crit by 50% and decreases the cooldown of your skills each time you're attacked. In addition, increase your attack bar by 30% if you get attacked by non-crit. So that's really nice. The 50% less crit, the attack bar cycling, that's how you infinitely provoke. I think this guy, he's going to tank Kinky really well because Kinky never crits. So that's nice, but you are going to get defense broken and you are taking full Kinky damage because the crit is the only decrease. You're going to get attack bar, but your crit, he's not critting you anyway, so he's hitting you really hard. Whereas Darian would make your allies take less damage. This Jubel is going to take quite a bit of damage. Where is this relevant in RTA? Cycling, not getting crit, provoking. I don't know that it brings enough to the table. It's nice that it's dark. I don't know. I'm not sure. Out of all these 5, I don't really like any of them, which is sort of sad. I would have liked to have seen one where I'm like, oh yeah, I got a 2A that, let's go. Wind one is sort of interesting. Light one, if it helps R5, I guess that's something. And then dark one, just having base speed is interesting. I just don't know if I'll ever use it, kind of like the Dark Griffin. Like, Dark Griffin is cool, but will it ever get used? I don't know. And Dark Griffin does some things slightly better than this guy. So this might just be sort of a wash in terms of monsters, especially for RTA. I don't think anything makes the cut for RTA. All right, let's look at the witches. We've got pretty much the same skill one. Oh no, they varied enough that we got to go through them. Let's look at the red one. So continuous damage for 1 turn. Cool. Let's look at the 2. AoE defense break. Okay, that's something. We like that. The power of jealousy, apparently, is how you break people's defenses. I didn't know that, but now I do. All right, the 3 is what makes her interesting. It's a AoE cleanse with an AoE heal. In addition, it will boost your bar based on how hard you cleanse. So you don't really count on the bar. You know, you're going to cleanse 1 or 2 things, so maybe a 10% bar boost. But, you know, if you cleanse a bajillion things, then you get a lot of bar boost. It just helps you cycle, right? It's just good for cycling. What I like about the fire one, and these monsters all have terrible base speed as well, which is kind of the theme of this 2A. It's just base speeds are trash. What I like about the fire one is there's not a lot of fire healers. AoE, like I use Colleen places that probably shouldn't use Colleen, but I just need a healer that's fire. This gives you another fire healer, which is kind of nice. I can't really think of a good like fire cleanser other than Veligul, but this is a fire cleanser healer with defense break, so that's enough utility to find its way into some PvE content. I feel like some where you're limited by units, you need something a certain element. You know, defense break is always kind of a must, and then the cleanse is pretty nice. So I kind of like the fire one a little bit. All right, blue one is Megan, and it's just sad. They didn't really help her at all, and Megan is just eclipsed by Bastet, and they very clearly didn't want Bastet to get, dumped on by Megan, but Megan didn't get better, so where are you going to use, like, you'll use Bastet in, like, 4-star towers, or I'm sorry, Megan in 4-star towers, but you'll use Bastet everywhere else. So, everything's about the same. I think they bumped the bar up with skill ups by 22% attack bar, which is something. But, like, these are not really buffs. Like, this is not 2A level buffs. This is not going from a 3-star to a 4.5-star. This is going from a 3-star to a 3.5-star, maybe a 4-star. Like, this is just not great. It's just not enough. I don't think. It's just sort of sad. I don't know what they could have done, but anything would be nice, Maybe like a cool down the skill on their 2 or something. Give her something that, well, it doesn't take Bastet's job. It gives her purpose, which I don't really see purpose here. But a lot of people 2A are just for the stats, which is kind of what they were thinking. They're like, okay, 2A are for the stats. It'll be fine. Oh, well. All right, let's look at the wind one. Remove 1 beneficial effect with a 30% chance on her 1. And inflict 1 turn continuous damage with a 100% chance. So 30% chance is not enough, but it's one of those things where it doesn't hurt if you're attacking into buffs, right? Her 2 is an AoE 1 beneficial effect remove and a defense, right? And that goes up to 100% with skill up. So we don't have a lot of AoE strip, AoE defense break. That's pretty nice. I mean, it's like Gemini, right? Except it's wind. Wind Gemini. Gemini has the speed lead, which is pretty nice. But if it was more than 1, it would be quite good. And it is a 2-turn defense break, which is kind of nice. So I kind of like the sound of that. And the skill 3 is remove beneficial effects from 1 enemy and inflicts damage, disturbs the enemy's HP recovery, prevents them receiving beneficial effects. So 2 debuffs, 1 buff removal. Yeah, it's not bad. Single target makes it a little funky. I think the appeal of this monster is the 2, the AoE buff, single buff removal, and defense. So you're bringing this into arena type stuff where they are, going to have just will most likely. So not horrible. Doesn't scream amazing, but not horrible. All right, the light one. We've got the dot on the 1, of course. The 2 is attack all enemies with the powers of jealousy. That's how you weaken defense, the power of jealousy. I don't know why they're so jealous. Why are they so jealous? They just are. 2-turn defense break. Absorbs attack bar by 20% with a 50% chance. The AoE absorb is pretty nice, and this is not consistent enough to rely on to speed tune, but it'll mess up turn order, so that's something. 100% chance if the enemy has beneficial effects. So this is a weird way to make it 100% because usually the beneficial effect it'll have would be will or immunity, which negates the entire thing. So if they have something like attack buff, you're stealing a little bit of bar. And she's going to cycle with that. If they have attack buff, say, and nothing else, she's going to take a ton of bar from everybody. They're going to be defense broken. She's going to go again. So it's almost like a defense break that can go into her 3, which is attack all enemies 3 to 4 times. And you're going to apply tons of debuffs for 2 turns. Decrease attack power, decrease attack speed, increase chance of glance, and beneficial effects block. So this is kind of like the dark Leah that we got for free in the HOH, where people were like, oh, decrease attack power and decrease or increase chance of glance. That's a pretty nice way to shut down a cleave. And the fact that it does that with decreased attack speed and beneficial effects block, that's all pretty nice. So this could be kind of anti-cleave. I think her issue is she's kind of slow. But I think the target defeated cannot be revived is really quite important. I don't think you can count on her as a primary defense break in an arena offense. But if you have, like, you know, say Tiana into Galleon into something into her, maybe you're going to deal with a lot of stuff that would normally be revived by like Nana or something like that. So I think there's a lot going on here. The fact that it's element neutral is pretty nice. So this is actually a pretty good option here. It does a lot of things that other monsters don't quite do, and it just does a lot of things, which is kind of nice. So light one, not too bad. All right, dark one, again, continuous damage, toad poison. Remove one beneficial effect, inflicts damage that prevents them from receiving beneficial effects. Okay, the one turn is not ideal, but whatever. The fact that it's AoE is kind of nice. We used to use this one briefly in, Tormentor's Crypt. So it had some use at some point for the block beneficial effects. Thorny Bush. Okay, so attacks all enemies 4 times by summoning thorny bushes. See, it says thorny bush summoning, but then the description says thorny bushes. So, I don't know. Is it one bush? Is it multiple bushes? I'm not sure. Inflicts continuous damage for 2 turns with 60% chance each. The last attack additionally puts them to sleep for 1 turn. So, a lot of continuous damage, right? 4 times. That's good. 60% chance. So you're guaranteed probably 2-ish. The fact that it puts them to sleep is weird, because the continuous damage is going to wake them up, right? So you steal 1 turn, and then the continuous damage wakes them up? Does it wake them up before, like, do they get to take their turn, or are they asleep first and then awoken? I don't really remember, but that's a weird interaction that it puts them to sleep when they have continuous damage. So, who knows? So of the Mystic Witches, I don't think any of them are really RTA relevant, because Light would be as part of a Cleave, and Cleave is not RTA relevant, really. People play it, but it's not really ideal. Red one, I think, has some nice PvE implications. So out of all 10 new 2A units, I think the most relevant ones are probably Light Witch, maybe Red Witch. If you don't have a daughter, which, you could have Thrain or Rika or Belinus or whoever, maybe Dark Witch. But I'm not really a fan of any of the Vagabonds, which is so sad. Like, they've learned that if they make 1 or 2 good, people will be excited, and then they can nerf them back down, and people kind of handle it okay. But making them all no good from the start is weird. So I'm not 100% sure what was the thought here. They're just almost relevant, but not relevant enough to really jump into the meta, I think. So that's my take on that. Some little things here. Stuff about Season 20. You can't use the new stuff in the new RTA season or the Special League. This is really, really nice. Look at this. Boom. Increasing runes, grindstones, artifacts, engraved conversion stones. Yes, that is all excellent. That's what we want every single time. We want them all the time. I know there's limitations on how they can do it and why, but we want that all the time. There must not be too many limitations if they allow us to have 1,600 gems. But yeah, we want that. They sped up rune artifact power-ups and enchantment reappraisal. Thank you. Always do that. We always want that. That is always excellent. Please do that all the time. I don't care about that. 3 decimal places, no big deal. Summoner's Way, no big deal. That's for early game. Surprise shop. We'll dig into this. You get a bunch of stuff for the price of a premium pack. It's just a way to get people to burn crystals so that they can sell them crystals in packs, right? That's what they should do all the time. Get you to burn crystals so that they can sell you more crystals. Some of these are worth it. Some of these probably are not. We're going to probably do them regardless of if they're worth it or not, just because that's what we do. So there's the lucky box. They change things to make more sense. Always nice. And fix a couple bugs. So that is the patch. All the details on the Vagabonds and the Mystic Witches. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If I'm way off base or you have a different opinion, please let me know, and we'll talk it out in the comments. So until then, see y'all next time.